Hey, how y'all doing? What's happening? Happy holiday weekend to you. Hope you're doing well. Hope you had a great, fabulous, wonderful weekend. We did. I did. I have to admit I did. Hung out with the grandkids and they came over and swam and we cooked cooked and we didn't cook a lot, some hot dogs, hamburgers, bratwurst, that kind of stuff. But it was great. They were here, and I appreciated that very much. Traveling graces to my son, to my daughters, and they out there on the road, and my grandsons, and just keep my. I'm gonna ask you to keep our family in your prayers right now. I'm gonna ask you to do that for me, okay? Uh, hey, Miss Coley, good to see you. Hey, Miss Nanette, how you doing? Yeah, glad to see you. Hey, my daughter. She said, "Hey, my daddy." There she is. I don't know if you're still on the road or not, but you be safe out there, okay? But it was a good weekend. It was. Uh, Longhorn got itself into something. So if you guys see me scratch here or there, I believe I got into some poison, either poison oak or poison ivy. And yeah, it's been interesting. Yeah, I'm covered in calamine lotion. So that's going to be interesting by itself. But I do appreciate y'all being here tonight. Make sure you hit like, love, share the message tonight if you would. Tonight's message is called for you, Miss Coley, the next chapter. That is the title of tonight's message. It's called the next chapter. Y'all, hit like, love, or I tell you what, put something in the chat. Let me know you're hearing me okay and seeing me okay. Okay, can you do that for me? Hey, baby sis, good to see you. I know you guys out there like rotisserie chickens in Washington. I hope y'all got a little rain to cool you off. Been watching the news and praying for y'all. Hope everything is well. But again, like I say, put 100 wave, put a heart, something. Let me know that you're hearing me okay. And I have also learned that when you guys put stuff into the chat, it actually um, helps the algorithm so more people can see me. If you watch me on YouTube, be sure to subscribe if you could do that for me. Hey, Miss Marion, good to see you too. She says, "Good evening, Mad Family." So let's get into the message tonight. The message, again, welcome everybody. And I'm glad. I really am glad that you're here. I look forward to this every Sunday. I do. Get your chair, get you something to drink. Uh, yeah, chill for a minute, and let's talk about something that's real, which we do every week. We talk about real stuff. No politics, no negativity, no religion. We just talk about real things. And tonight, I want to start. I want to start tonight by talking about the psychology of how we read books. Now, how many of y'all read books? A lot of y'all read books, right? Okay. So, and I'm not trying to sell you my latest book, The Journey of a Man. But we're going to talk about the psychology of how we read books. Um, God, you're not far from me. I'll come knock on your door. How about that? Um, I want to talk. I want to start tonight by talking about the psychology of how we read books and how it completely exposes the way we treat ourselves. Okay, think about the last time you picked up a great book. Matter of fact, if you can, type into the chat the last great book that you read. You get that book, you get comfortable, you turn to page one, and you start losing yourself in the story. And now imagine, you get to chapter three, the main character, the person you're rooting for, the person you already have started to care about, gets completely blindsided by a brutal heartbreak. What do? You slam the book, you slam it shut, bow, and you throw it across the room. You says, "Well, I guess that's how it ends." You just in chapter three. What a tragedy. Story over. Of course you don't do that. Okay, you say the shack. All right. Imagine you are further into the book, say chapter seven, and that same character loses absolutely everything. They lose their security, their plans, their allies, all wiped out. Everything's gone. Do you close the book right then and assume the book is finished? No, you do not. You don't even hesitate. You turn the next page because you need to know what's going on. What's going on? You keep reading late into the night because you have an unshakable faith in one universal truth, and that truth is there are more chapters ahead. You know that the chaos in the middle of the book is setting up for the breakthrough at the end. That's typically how it works, right? Um, Black AF history, nonfiction. All right, thank you, Mr. Net. But let me ask you something tonight, y'all. Why is it that when it comes to the narrative of our own lives, we do not give ourselves the same grace? We are incredibly fair judges of fictional characters, but we are incredibly harsh authors of our own realities. Yeah. The moment a setback happens to us in real life, we don't look at it as a plot twist. We convince ourselves we have reached the final page. A relationship ends, a job disappears, bad medical news. Someone you trusted walked away. We take a single painful chapter and declare it to be the whole damn book. Yeah, we do. If you're typing in the chat right now, or if you're sitting there listening in silence, I want to disturb that pattern of thinking for you tonight. I want to remind you of something simple, something powerful, enough to shift your entire perspective if you let it sink in. You are not living the final scene of your story. You are living the chapter you are in right now. And chapters are meant to change. Turn the page. Now, before we go too much further, we need to expose the biggest lie discouragement ever told us. The lie that what we are living right now is permanent. If you do not understand that lie, you will misread your own story. I'm going to say that again. We need to expose the biggest lie discouragement ever told us. The lie that we are living right now, the way we're living right now is permanent. If you don't understand that lie, you will misread your own story. And that's real. One of the biggest mistakes we make as human beings is believing that today's circumstances are permanent. The reality is when we get trapped in a dark valley, our minds play a cruel trick on us. Our brains paint the walls of that valley and tries to convince us that this is a permanent house, that this is where we live. We forget how many seasons we have already survived. Yeah. Look back at your own life. Think about the version of you from 5, 10, 15 years ago. There were moments in your past where you were certain you would not recover. Mornings where the weight on your chest felt unbearable. Nights where you stared at the ceiling wondering how you was going to make it through tomorrow. Yet here you are. You are here. Not because life became easy, but because life kept moving and so did you. You dragged yourself through the dark chapters even when you could not see the path ahead. You did that. You did that. If someone had approached you 10 years ago and showed you a preview of your current life, you would not have believed them. 10 years ago, there were people you love today whom you had not even met yet. Lessons you have now mastered that your younger self could not have understood. Victories you never imagined. There were challenges in your life you never expected. This is how life works, people. We can only see the paragraph we are living. We almost never see the one that is coming next. Yeah. Hey, Sean, good to see you, buddy. That's right. If you're not changing, you're going backwards. Hey, Jerry, good to see you too, my friend. He says, if life can change in a blink of an eye, your journey can change in the same way. Control what you could control. And you're right. That is where discouragement gets its power. Discouragement is an illusionist. It convinces you that what you are experiencing right now is the total sum of your existence. It whispers, it whispers that you are too late. You are too old. You are too broke. You are too far behind. But discouragement has one fatal flaw: it does not know the next chapter. And the truth is, neither do you. Let me tell you something from my own life, real quick. Something I don't talk about often. I remember a chapter where I genuinely thought the book was done. I was sitting in a tiny apartment with boxes I hadn't unpacked, staring at the walls like it owed me answers. I had just lost something I thought was permanent, a relationship. We'll just say that it was I lost a plan. I lost a future I had already written in my head. I was not noble about it. I was not wise. I was not quoting inspirational lines. I was mad. I was mad as hell. I was confused and convinced the author had stopped writing. One night, I sat on the edge of the bed and said out loud, "So this is it. This is the chapter where it all falls apart." And I meant it. I believed it. But 2 months later, I met someone who changed the entire trajectory of my life. Not romantically, not dramatically, just one person who said one sentence that lit a spark in me again. One sentence that made me pick the book back up. One sentence that made me turn the page. And that's what many of us have to do. We have to turn the page. Looking back now, I realized something. That chapter did not break me. It introduced me. It introduced me to a stronger version of myself, a wiser version, a version that can sit here tonight and share this with you because I lived it, I survived it, and I learned from it. I'm sorry, y'all. I got a little excited. Uh, now, let's talk about the part nobody likes to talk about. The messy middle. Yeah. The place where the plot thickens, the questions multiply. I don't know why I wear my glasses. I think I look more professional with my glasses. uh yeah. The place where the plot thickens, the questions multiply, and the story feels like it's falling apart. Let's go there. Let's go there together because that is where most people quit. They do. And listen to me. The messy middle is wild. It's that part of life where you're looking around thinking, surely somebody has the instructions for this shit. But life does not come with instructions. It don't. And if it did, half of us would not read them anyway because they say if you really want to hide something from somebody, put it in a book. That's real. We would say, "Oh, I got it," and then wonder why the whole damn thing is wobbling like a cheap ass table from Walmart or like a cheap bookshelf from IKEA. The messy middle is not where you're doing something wrong; it's where you are simply living. Some of the most spectacular moments of joy and breakthrough arrive right after seasons that made no sense. When you look back with hindsight, everything shifts. Doors that slammed in your face, people who left unexpectedly, projects that failed, dreams that shattered. They felt like endings, but later you realize they were introductions. They were introductions to people you never would have met. They were introductions to strength you did not know you had. They were introductions to opportunities your old plans would have blinded you to. If everything had gone according to your perfect blueprint, you might have ended up comfortable. But you would have missed something better. But that lesson is painful in real time. We crave certainty. We want the map. We want to know where we are going, who is coming with us, and exactly where we will arrive, and when will we arrive. But life rarely honors our desires for control. You say you want to make God laugh? Tell him your plans. Most of our lives are spent in the middle, and that middle is messy. It's very messy. It is our questions. It is. It's where the questions outnumber answers. We got more questions than we got answers. Where faith gets thin, where patience wears out, where enthusiasm dries up. It is where most people quit. But a difficult chapter does not make it a bad book, people. If you're not getting the metaphor, I'm talking about your life. Your life is not a bad book. It's simply not. Jerry says, a lonely hotel and a box of sleeping pills after my divorce. I woke up the next day, and from that day on, I knew the good Lord had a reason for me to be here. Fast forward a few years later, I met my beautiful wife. We just celebrated our 20th year anniversary. Peace is more valuable to me than money. Jerry, I'm gonna say congratulations, and I'm gonna smile because you just don't know how similar me and that story right there is to mine. There was no hotel room involved, and there was no sleeping pills, but yeah, it's a very similar story, my friend. And me and Mr. Net, yeah. Anyway, uh, hey, Buzz says saw a gorgeous lady on a ship at the lowest point, and she ended up taking me to the pinnacle of my career in life. Wow, that's an amazing story, Buzz. I hope you write that story one day. I do, because that's beautiful. So I'm sorry. Let's get back to the message. Here's the twist, y'all. The chaos you are trying to escape might be the exact material your life, your future strength is being built for, or being built from. Some of the most legendary stories ever written include heartbreak, failure, disappointment, and loss. Those chapters do not ruin the book, they give it depth. They give the character their soul. They make the victory worth celebrating. The same is true for you. The hardships you have endured may become the survival guide someone else needs. The mistakes you carry, uh, yeah, the mistakes you carry, shame over, uh, may become the wisdom that saves someone else's life. The pain the pain you have carried can become compassion that changes someone's world. Pain is a terrible thing to waste. Yeah, I said that. Pain is a terrible thing to waste. If we are forced to go through the madness, let us demand a dividend from it. Let's get something out of it. Let us extract something valuable from the ashes. Let's Let us refuse to let the struggle be for nothing. Sometimes a dark chapter teaches you who you are and who your friends are. Now I take that back. Who your real friends are. Sometimes it teaches you that you can survive things you once thought would destroy you. Sometimes it forces you to slow down. listen more intentionally, and appreciate the fragile humans sitting around your dinner table. And while we are examining our chapters, we have to address compassion. Compassion is the thief of joy. Yeah, compassion loves to steal your joy. We compare our messy chapter 8 to someone else's polished chapter 20. But compassion is a lie also. They're a liar. Every story unfolds at its own pace. Some people bloom early, some bloom late. Neither rhyme is wrong, neither rhythm is wrong. Your assignment is to grow where you are. Now, once you stop wasting the madness, something powerful happens. You become ready for the next version of yourself. Okay. Every chapter requires a different version of you. Growth is uncomfortable. Growth feels like breaking because it is. You're breaking out of the old chapter. You're breaking out of the old skin. You're breaking out of the old habits. Growth happens quietly in conversations where you choose peace over being right, in lessons you finally take responsibility for, in failures you learn from instead of hiding from, in apologies you did not want to give, in this decisions you had to make alone. My brother Paul, good to see you, my friend. Thanks for stopping by tonight. Then one day you face a crisis and realize you are handling it with grace, the one you did not have. I'm sorry. I'm better put my glasses back on. I'm not, I missed the word in my notes there. Um, then one day you face a crisis and realize you are handling it with grace. The old you did not have. That is growth, my friends. That is growth. That is the rewrite happening in real time. We rarely honor the miles we have already traveled. We stare at the distance left and forget the distance we've covered. Then think about it. Think about who you were 5 years ago. What have you survived? What heartbreaks did you heal from in secret? What lesson did you learn the hard way? Who have you become? You may not be where you want to be yet, but you are not where you used to be. The progress is holy. And as life unfolds, the cast of characters must change, just like it does in the book. Some people stay for decades, some stay for a season. Some arrive to teach you something. Some arrive because you are meant to help them heal. Not everyone who starts with you is meant to finish with you. Yeah, I said it. Not everyone who starts with you is meant to finish with you. One of the most exhausting things we do is hold on to people, places, and identities long after their chapter has ended. They're done. It's over. Move on. The ink is dry on yesterday. You can't rewrite it. That bell has rung. You can't change it. The healthiest thing you could do is thank those chapters for what they taught you and turn the blessed page. You're right, Paul. In our business, admitting we are wrong is growth. And you know how I do it? I look them dead in the eye and says, I made a mistake. I own that. How do I correct it? Or let me go and correct it. And it took me some time to learn how to do that, Paul. So do not confuse slow progress with no progress. Redwoods, are you guys familiar with redwood trees? Huge freaking trees. Redwoods, they do not grow overnight. Legendary careers are not built in a year. Healing is not linear. Character is forged in the quiet furnace of time. Just because you cannot see the gears turning does not mean nothing is happening. It means the author is still writing. You are the author. The plot is thickening. The foundation is settling. Life revises us like a master author, rewriting, editing, tearing out pages, starting over, not because the story is a failure, but because the story is loved too much to be mediocre. Life is doing that with you right now, whether you realize it or not. It's doing that to you right now. If you erased every difficult chapter in your life, you would erase your resilience, your empathy, your wisdom, your scars. You would be a hollow shell. The goal is not a pain-free story or a pain-free life. The goal is the courage to keep writing, keep living, keep breathing, keep growing, keep writing those chapters. Jerry says that's the hardest one to deal with. When you pour yourself into other people and then realize that the kindness shown was just used against you. Hey, man, Jerry, I can give you this pen and I can expect you to write thank you on the paper. Or you could just take this pen and walk off. Because, see, when you give somebody something, you don't get to choose what they do with it. My mama told me famously, baby, just because somebody bakes you a cake, don't mean you got to eat it. So, with all that we have talked about in mind, the chapters you have survived, the lessons you have earned, the pages you have already written. Here's the part I need you to hear clearly tonight. Stop calling your current situation your final destination because you don't know that. Stop treating a temporary moment like a permanent identity. Where you are standing right now is not your home. It's a hallway. It's a transition. It's a scene change. It is simply the chapter you are living in today, not forever, just today. When your eyes open tomorrow morning, I want you to remember something with every step you take. You are walking into a blank page, a clean slate, a fresh line of ink that has never existed before. You are not, you do not owe tomorrow perfection. You don't. You do not owe tomorrow a miracle. You do not owe tomorrow the entire rewrite of your life. Your only assignment is to write a slightly better page than you wrote today. That's your assignment for tomorrow. Write a better page than you wrote today. Make the phone call you've been avoiding. Submit the application that scares you. Extend forgiveness to free your own heart. Take a walk, breathe the air, take a swim, laugh with your family. Tell someone you love them without hesitation. Start the creative process or that creative project you've been putting off. Read the book, ask for help, offer help. Do one thing that moves your story forward. Those tiny, ordinary decisions are the ink. Those sentences become paragraphs. Those paragraphs becomes chapters, and those chapters become a life you are proud to read. So hear me clearly tonight. Whatever chapter you are in right now, whether it is healing, waiting, rebuilding, forgiving, or starting over, do not make the mistake of believing it is the whole book. Your story has pages left. Your story has laughter left. Your story has breakthroughs left. Your life, your story has love left to share. Your life has purpose. The next chapter of your life has not been written yet. The ink is still wet in the well. Something beautiful, something beautiful is still entirely possible. Um, let's see. Paul says, "Not me. I remove swiftly. I had to come to terms with letting go. I can't fix everybody, especially the ones that don't want to improve. Recently, I realized that me getting agenda getting at the stupid shit a friend was doing that he simply didn't care about. I finally came to the decision that if he didn't care, why should I? I let him go swiftly and quickly, cleared my head. Hey, man, sometimes you got to fish or cut bait." He says, "No man never waste a good piece of cake, bro." Ned says, "Happy anniversary." Let's see. Hey, Lady Reed, thank you. The message ain't over, but thank you for coming by. Stop stopping by. Jerry says, "Give yourself forgiveness. Apologize for yourself for allowing yourself to doubt yourself. Finally, rip off the rearview mirror of life. It's already happening and you can't change it." That's right. Hey, Lady Reed, I hope that you like the message enough to share it with your thousands of followers. You are quite the talent, young lady. Um, Cody said, "Looking at LH like, man, if you only knew." Oh, I understand. I know, Miss Cody. All right, I'm a little over time, y'all, and I got to do my closing. But I got to tell y'all something that I'm gonna tell you about a chapter when I thought my chapter was another chapter in my life where I thought it was over. I had been out of the army for like 3 years, and long story short, I got hit by a truck. I got hit by a F-350 flatbed truck. And the guy hit me and left me on the side of the road for dead. He broke all my ribs in my back on my right side, broke my pelvis in 8 places, contusion to my bladder, lost 2 pints of blood or more. I was in a coma for 3 days. Um, my daughter was 3 years old. I remember on the 4th of July, I sat in the hospital room in Topeka, Kansas at Stormont Vale in a wheelchair. I couldn't walk. And I watched the fireworks from that hospital room at Washburn University. And I was sitting there wondering, is this it? Is it over for me? Because the doctor told me it'd be a year before I walked without a walker. Look at me now. Now, if I would have just gave up in that right there, who knows where I would be? But I didn't give up. So, all right, let's finish this out, y'all. Wherever you are standing tonight, whatever chapter you are reading, do not close the book. Do not mislabel a moment as a lifetime. Lift your eyes, Steady your breath. Get ready because the next page is waiting. It's waiting. Before you log off tonight, I want you to do one thing. Before you give me my $2, Buzz, I want you to do one thing, one simple thing that keeps this message alive after the screen goes dark. Take this chapter you are in and share the message with someone who needs it. Someone in your circle is fighting a battle you know nothing about. Someone is sitting in their own messy middle, staring at their own unfinished pages, convinced their story is done. This is your tomorrow, a blank piece of paper. You might be the exact person who reminds them it is not. They have a blank piece of paper like you do tomorrow. Send them this stream. Tag them. Tell them I thought of you tonight. And if this message hits you in the chest, do not just feel it. Act on it. Drop a comment and about the chapter you are in. Tell me something. Send me a message. Not the polished version. Give me the real shit. Tell me like it is. When you speak your truth out loud, you take its power back. And when you share it, you give someone else permission to breathe again. Before you go to bed tonight, make one commitment. Tomorrow, you will write a better page than what you wrote today. It's not going to be a perfect page, not a miracle page, just a better page. And if you want to walk this journey with me week after week, just follow me. Turn on notifications. Stay connected because there's some changes coming. Not just in my life, but in yours too. We are building something here, people. We have been building something here. A community of people who refuse to quit in the middle of the story. And I love each and every one of y'all. Hey, Miss Brown, how you doing? Thank you for the compliment. Um, let's see. Annette says, I am in my last chapter. We'll make it better. Miss Annette, you got more chapters to come. So I'm not taking that. Just make each chapter better. How about that? Hey, Miss Charlotte, she says, I'm really late. Have to catch you later. Okay. Miss Marion says, always a good message each week, and never mind if you go over. We enjoy every minute. I thank you for that. Um, you just don't know how much I enjoy bringing y'all the message. You just don't, because see, there is in all this chaos, there's always a positive message in the madness. So that's the show for tonight. Annette says, I just want to be accepted. Lost my priest at St. Luke's Air Force Base. No, thank you, Miss Annette. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry, Miss Annette. Sorry you lost your priest. Um, but I'm sure your priest left you with some wonderful words to remember and live by and keep close to your heart. Coley says, well, I'm trying to get better, Coley. Um, I'm trying to get okay. I'm gonna tell y'all what's going on. Um, Longhorn has asked God to help me to become a better speaker and to begin to travel more, being a keynote speaker, not just for veteran suicide prevention, but for some other things. So I gotta tighten things up. I gotta get things a little tighter, a little bit more professional, and teaching myself how to do these things. And I have to start here. I have to write a better chapter, even with my friends. So that is what Longhorn is working on. Uh, daughter say, take your time. Yeah, see, you one of them folks that people at church be looking at sideways. You holler out, take your time, Pastor. They're like, girl, he been up there 2 hours. But I'm working on some things that's going to move us forward because I really believe that I go forward, we all go forward because y'all are my friends, y'all are my family. Uh, y'all are, y'all are a big part of me, and I greatly appreciate y'all more than you know. Even my friends that checked in from LinkedIn, I am so Sean. Thank you very much for popping in. Paul, thank you, Miss Lady Reed, one of the funniest ladies in St. Louis. Um, thank y'all, and I thank my family. My messages in the Madness family. Um, One of my oldest friends, we've been friends 30 plus years. Pops in and watch my baby sister. One of the guys who I've looked up to and continue to look up to is, watches the show. I'm overjoyed. And I have one mission every day, and that is to continue to write a better chapter. And I can't forget, I would be remiss to remember Miss Nanette. Miss Nanette, she has her own little way of encouraging me to be better every day. So, all right, guys. So that's the message for tonight. So I'm gonna say what I always say. Well, one, I'm gonna encourage you to like, love, and share the message. And my baby sister says another meaningful and powerful message, wishing you and everyone a superb week ahead. Love you. But I'm gonna say what I always say, daughter, be safe getting home. Text me, let me know you made it. I love you. God loves you. Take care of yourself, love yourself, respect yourself. Give them kids a hug for me. Give them kids a hug for me. Respect our vets. This has been another episode of Messages in the Madness with yours truly, Vernon Longhorn Davis. And until next Sunday, God bless y'all. $2.